So we're going to do some really high-level stuff here. We're just going to talk about the basic process for all of the stuff that we do and how it's going to be tracked in our Beatrix or Bitrix system. So this is our deal flow. And basically, the way the system works is it's a database with a series of tables that connect to each other to keep track of everyone's information and to manage the deals that come in. Now, what is a deal? A deal is basically going to have two main components. A deal is going to have a property and it's going to have a contact. So, for example, in order to have a deal, we have to have a property that we're buying or selling and a person that we're buying the property from or selling the property to. If we have those two things, then we have a deal or a potential deal. Now, we're going to have situations where there might be one property and that property might be involved in many potential deals. So for example, someone's interested in selling the property to us. So we get a purchase agreement, we create a deal linking that seller to that property. And as we go through the process with that property, we start to market it. And we have, I don't know, let's say 5 people reach out to us because they're interested in purchasing that property. Well, there would be a new deal for each of those 5 people. So we would have 5 deals with people that are interested in buying the property. And we would have one deal with the seller, the person that's selling the property to us. So in that instance, that one property could have 6 deals that are associated with it. Likewise, a contact might have many deals associated with them too. So you might have one person who owns 4 or 5 properties and they want to sell all of them. So there would be a deal for each of the properties that they were selling. So the deal is basically the combination of a property and a person. And once we link the property and the person and we create a deal in the Bitrix system, then we'll go through several phases as you can see outlined here. But first, I want to mention that some of these deals will be automatically created. So if we get a new email from someone, Bitrix will automatically create a deal if we get an email from someone that it doesn't recognize. So that's great. It just means that there will be an automatic deal created and we'll need to make sure the information is correct. So we'll need to make sure the contact information is correct, and that includes checking the name, checking their phone or email or whatever information they've provided to us, and also making sure that they're linked to the correct property. We need to make sure the property information is correct that goes into this deal. And we'll do that in the general pipeline. So basically all the deals, when they're automatically created by Beatrix, they go into a pipeline. All the deals will always be in a pipeline. So initially, they all go into the general pipeline. And that's just there because it means that we haven't assigned the deal yet. And we'll want to, either in this stage when the deal is in the general pipeline or at the very first stage in one of the specific pipelines, make sure that everything is correct in the property and new contact information. And the reason for that is that once we get the deal into one of these specific pipelines, there are going to be a lot of automatic triggers that are going to happen. Those automatic triggers are going to be like emails, text messages. We need to make sure that all of the information is correct. Otherwise, those emails are going to have the wrong information in them. So basically, we'll want to check here at the general stage or right when we're sending it over that the contact and property information is all correct in that deal. We're also going to want to make sure the deal is named in a way that's easy for us to keep track of. So every deal will be named with the contact's name and the property name. And when it has those two things, it'll be really easy to tell what that deal involves, who it has, and which property we're dealing with. So if we have a deal where someone wants to sell the property and we will be the purchaser, it will go into the purchasing pipeline, because that pipeline is our process of purchasing the property. So that pipeline is going to have several stages. In each of those stages, there will be tasks and like automatic emails and actions that will be triggered. And so it's important to keep tabs on your tasks, because as these deals progress through the pipeline, you'll be sent new tasks to complete on the deal. And like I was mentioning earlier, before we end up closing on the purchase of the deal will go into a marketing stage. So in one of these stages in the pipeline, we'll be preparing all the information for the deal and putting it on the website so that we can market it. At that point, we might get some interested buyers. And for buyers, we'll be selling the property to these buyers. So it goes into our selling pipeline, because that's what we'll be doing. We'll be selling it. And there will be several stages. And again, we'll want to make sure that we have, if someone's interested in buying the property, we'll want to make sure that we link them to the property and we name that deal with their name and then the property's name, and that all of their contact information and everything else is correct, so that when these automatic emails and text messages and tasks are triggered, the information is correct and it makes sense to everybody who's receiving that information. Finally, we might also, so once we start marketing a property that we're buying in the purchasing pipeline, it could go either, you could get interested buyers who would then go into the selling pipeline. You could also get interested investors. And if we have someone that says, hey, I'd like to invest in this deal with you, then we'll put them in the investor pipeline. And again, we'll want to make sure we link their name with the property, and we make the name of the deal their name and the property name. We'll want to check all of their contact information to make sure it's correct. And then that deal will start processing through the investor pipeline. And there will be a bunch of automatic tasks, and emails, and text messages that will trigger as the deal progresses through this pipeline. Now, the goal of all of this is to make sure that we keep everything organized and that we are able to track everything that happens in the process, so that if we find out something isn't working, we can improve it. And also to make sure we have a lot of situations where people contact us because they're interested in buying something. We just forget to follow up with them. Or maybe they contact us because they want to sell a property. We don't do a very good job of following up. So the goal is to make sure we get as many deals done as possible. We keep track of everything that happens as the deal progresses, and we're able to create the best and easiest process possible. So hopefully this is a helpful overview of how our process will work, and everything that happens in Beatrix will basically be as a result of this. And as you work on the different things that happen here, you'll have tasks, and you'll be able to keep track of the time you spend on each of these tasks, so we can manage how efficient our process is, and if we need to improve some of the tasks because they take too long, we can do that. So hopefully by doing this, we'll be able to make everything easier and better over time and continue to improve what we do and be more efficient and do a better job of handling the deals that we do get. Thanks. Hope that was helpful.